So my name is Solomon. My speech is on Japanese etiquette, primarily in a business environment. So basically what I'll be first, have any of you wondered or ever thought about how the etiquettes in Japan differ from that here in America or in the West in general? So most of you might know, their society is a bit more different than ours is. So basically, it's important to note that the Japanese their etiquette is one of the roots that holds their society and culture together. They have a very diverse culture, and there's different branches and roots that consist of their entire culture, but their etiquette is one of the main ones. So this speech will basically just educate you on the main business etiquettes, and I'll start off by talking about what you should do in a business meeting environment. Then I'll talk about dining, so table manners and all that. And then I'll end off with gift giving. So firstly, when you're conducting a meeting, it's important to know, especially a business meeting, that they're very status conscious. So you don't want to especially say you're talking to your boss, you don't want to just call them by their first name. So you don't want to say, "Hey Dave, could you come here and check my assignment?" You absolutely shouldn't say that. They prefer that you call them by the proper honorifics, and the honorifics are basically words such as sama, senpai, kohai, san, chan, kun. Probably sounds like gibberish right now, but that's basically what it is. And how it works is that you say the person's name, preferably their last name, and then you say the honorific. So for example, say I wanted to call somebody named Kenji Yamamoto. I wanted to ask him to check my document. I wouldn't say, "Hey Kenji, could you check my document?" I would say, "Yamamoto-san, could you check my document?" And that basically just means the word "san." That's the safest way to say it, or the safest honorific to say it. And that's basically because it just means Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. So it's more respectful, and they're really their whole culture and etiquette is basically oriented around respect. So if you're talking to anybody, or while the meeting is conducting, it's also very important to bow. So there's different types of bowing. So as you can see, they're bowing. So there's different types of bowing. There's a 5-degree bow. I don't know what they're called, but they're basically so it's different degrees of bowing. There's 5-degree bow, 15, 30, and 45-degree bow, and they each have different meanings. And basically the general rule is that if somebody is of higher status than you, you should bow lower than they do to show more respect. That's very important, because if you don't bow appropriately, not only does it make you look bad, but your whole company as well. And if you're a foreigner, it's okay for you to shake hands. They understand that you might not know how to do the bowing properly. Just don't do this. Pick one. Don't do both. So basically, in this picture over here, you can see that the person on the left is of lower status than the one on the right, because he's bowing lower than the one on the right. So that's crucially important. And also, this is the different degrees that I was talking about. And I couldn't find one for the 5-degree bow, but basically what it means is that when you do a 5-degree bow, meaning you bowed at a 5-degree angle, that's basically the same as saying yes or nodding. The 15-degree bow is just a general greeting. The 30% is just to show respect, and the 45 one is the highest respect. So you would primarily do the 45-degree bows, so to say the CEO of your company, or the president or your boss, just to be more respectful. Another thing is when you're exchanging things. So this is very common in a business meeting, especially with a different company. You're most likely going to exchange business cards or give documents. But it's really important to not just give the document with one hand like this. You should always give it with two hands. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a little card or a notebook, whatever. It has to be given with 2 hands, like over here. It's hard to see in this one, but like he's giving it with 2 hands. So like over here, they're exchanging business cards with both hands over here as well. So that's really important, and because if you just say, if I were to give a business card with 1 hand, that basically means like I don't care about the other person, I'm not respectful, and that's just the same thing as like being rude. And it's the same thing as like when you're accepting a card. If somebody gives you a card with 2 hands, don't just take it with 1 hand. That just basically means that they're not significant to you. So you don't want to like have a bad impression. Next thing I will talk about is table manners. So most likely after a meeting or in general, you're going to be going out to dinner with your colleagues, whether you like it or not. You're going to have to do it at some point. So it's important to, like, when you're going to eat something, doesn't matter what it is, it could be ramen, sushi, PB&J, probably not going to find that there, but you know, whatever it is, you should always say itadakimasu before you eat, and then go chiso-sama after you're done eating. And also another thing is, since you're mostly going to eat a lot of your food with chopsticks over there, you should know the correct manners with chopsticks. And I'm not just talking about like holding it. So like in this example, once you're done eating whatever it is, if it's like rice or noodles, don't leave your chopsticks in the bowl like that. Like lie them down on the side, and they usually will have like a little rest like this, so where you can place your chopstick once you're done eating. Another thing is that when you're using chopsticks, don't like pull or slide plates while you're like with your chopsticks. Just use your hands, and don't if you're say there's like a bowl of rice, don't just stick your chopsticks in them, because like this. So don't do that. And that's basically because it kind of like symbolizes like the funeral essence. Like they have little sticks during a funeral, so it's important not to do that. And also, furthermore, when you're during a dining setting, you're most likely gonna get drunk. It's just part of their culture, so you're gonna get drunk. So it's important that when you're gonna be drinking, don't pour a drink for yourself. Have like your superiors or other people pour the drink for you, and you should do the same. And before drinking, don't just raise to a glass and start drinking. The person who's like of like more superiority or more superior to you, he's probably gonna say cheers or kanpai in Japanese. And after he says that, you should say the same thing, and then like you can like get drunk. It's not required, but like that's how they bond, I guess. The last thing I'll talk about is gift giving. So gift giving, it's really expected in a business environment, especially after a meeting. If you're conducting a meeting with a business relationship with another company, they expect a gift. And believe it or not, the gift wrapping is more important than the gift itself. And basically, so don't use colors such as black and red and white, and that's because black and red, for some reason, it represents sexuality. I don't know how that works, but it does. And red and white is normally a wrapping used during wedding occasions, so don't do that. They're also, Japanese people are very superstitious, so if you're gonna give gifts in like multiple quantities, don't give it in odd quantities. I don't know why, it's just a superstition, so they don't like that. Don't give like gifts in 5. Don't give like 5 items. Give like 4 or something, so it's safer to do that. And basically, they prefer in a business setting. Normally, it's like they don't care like what the price is, but in a business setting, it's better to give like a pricey gift. So a luxurious brand, a greater fruit basket, fine wine, those would be all like proper gifts. Even like a little bonsai tree would be fine. If you and another thing that you shouldn't give is like white flowers. White flowers are white flowers. They basically symbolize like a more funeral setting, so it's better not to give a gift like that. So in conclusion, I would just like to say that there are etiquettes and culture in general is just oriented around respect, and you should be very like you should interpret what the person's age is, and you should address them appropriately with the proper honorific. And the etiquettes in Japan are used in every activity, so it's not just a business setting. It's like, you know, when you're hanging out with friends, talking with family members in every setting. And what I would like to quote, it's my own quote that I made up, it's really cliche. It's, should stay humble, respectful, and honorable, and soon you will be treated similarly and with greater rewards.